Hey there, Postal here. So I just bit the bullet, and I've gone ahead and got myself an F-82E. Even though I've already got the P-82B, we're gonna take a quick look at the differences between those two planes, and then we're gonna take a look at my first gameplay in the F-82E for today's video. So feel free to join me. Alright, so first things first, I'm gonna put all my equipment on here and do my equipment type stuff, right? Obviously not specialized, I literally just bought this plane. And, well, we're gonna set it up for, what are we gonna set it up for? Well, let's take a look at the P-82B first and see the differences just on paper between these two aircraft. So P-82B, which I do have specialized, looks pretty darn similar, as you can see. We're going to put the XF90 pilot in here. There are some significant differences, and I do have this one set up with the radio equipment, and I think I'm going to actually do that with the F-82. We're going to see. And I've got it set up for speed with a little bit of maneuverability. And then the P-82 has quite a lot of outboard weapons. You've got 2 bombs, 10 rockets, 14 machine guns. Now the machine guns are the like tier 7 machine guns basically on a tier 8 heavy fighter, but there's 14 of them. It is a swarm of bees, as I like to call it. You will get stung to death for sure. But you can see that there is outboard weapon impact here when it comes to your equipment and even your consumables, getting that extra damage. Otherwise, my consumable setup is basically the same. So for the F-82, you do get a 6-point pilot here. I'm still going to be putting in my XF90 pilot. And it is the same exact equipment setup. So for better or for worse, your outboard weapons are going to be impacted by this. Now, you have 5 less rockets. They are centrally located instead of out on the wings. So that can actually be good for like trying to get some cheeky rocketeers. And you've got 6 machine guns, and they're all centrally located as well. The biggest difference between these machine guns and the machine guns on the P-82B are the tier level. These are the same machine guns that you would get on any of the tier 8 and above American fighters. So these are the same machine guns that you get on the P-51A, the FJ-1, and the F-86A. Longer range, a little bit better damage per second. Obviously, you've got less than half of them, but there are some strengths to that. So my focus isn't really going to be on the air-to-ground capabilities of this plane, though. So it's not going to be on the outboard weapon speed. It's actually going to be reducing the impact to the overall airspeed. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of these aerodynamic pylons on here. And I'm going to go ahead and put them up to improved. So we're going to go and do that. I'm not going to worry about whatever it rolls is what it rolls. Damage inflicted by bombs, what do you do? I'll worry about that later. Next, we're going to take a look at my consumables, and I'm just going to put my standard setup on this type of plane, which would normally be emergency control system right there, and engine cooling. Universal ammo is going. Now, I am going to be highly tempted to utilize pneumatic control assist on this plane because you tell the maneuverability is at 51. That's on par with a lot of the less maneuver multi-role fighters. And so by putting pneumatic control assist on this particular plane, I might be able to set myself up to be able to outmaneuver some of those planes, FW190s, for instance, XP72s, things of that nature, that I wouldn't normally be able to outmaneuver. Something I'll look to in the future, but right now, emergency control system on this particular setup. Now, as far as the standard equipment on the airframe is concerned, we're going to do the same exact setup that I did on the P-82, which is going to be putting a lightweight wing frame on here. And then I've got the choice of either of the 2 speed options here, the uprated engine or the injection boost system. Uprated engine is typically where I go for multi-role fighters, most multi-role fighters, and all fighters. simply because it impacts the overall airspeed of the plane, and it doesn't negatively impact your boost time, which matters on a fighter because you typically only have like maximum. On average, you've got 8 to 10 seconds. There's some planes that are above that, and some planes that are below that, but on average, 8 to 10 seconds. The combined injection boost system, however, squeaky voice, negatively impacts the overall duration of your boost time, but doesn't negatively. The impact on that isn't nearly as large on a heavy fighter, where your overall boost time, and we're going to take a look really quick here at my boost time. My overall boost time is reduced by 4 seconds, yes, but I'm still at 21 seconds. So, you started off at 25 seconds. Yeah, 25 seconds is great. 21 seconds is still really good. And having that increased boost speed, 21 miles an hour, typically is a good thing, right? Now here's where I probably will be getting controversial. Is I've been really testing out the radio equipment, and I'm gonna. You saw I had it on the P-82, and I'm gonna test it out here on the F-82 as well. Especially on a plane that's like this, that is machine guns. That with machine guns, they're not gonna overheat anytime soon. The accuracy is questionable, no matter how much you add to the accuracy. It's really more about volume of fire than it is about overall damage per second or accuracy. And so I'm going to kind of lean in on that when it comes to a lot of my American fighters. The FJ1, I've had excellent games in the FJ1 by putting the radio equipment on it. What does the radio equipment do for those of you that are unfamiliar with it? Well, it increases your concealment and increases your ability to detect the enemy. And so both of those things allow me to determine what I'm going to be doing. Hey, look, we even got an accuracy buff here. I'm not going to be re-rolling any of this. I'm just kind of getting everything set up. But what does that do overall for me when I'm in a plane? Well, it lets me dictate the battle a little bit more. If I'm able to see the enemy sooner and they can see me less soon, that means I've got a little bit more of a window. It might be a 5-second window to make a decision. Am I going for this guy? Am I going away from this guy? Am I doing the honorable thing and going to a different sector? There's gonna be planes where I'm not gonna go try to fight. And for instance, if I run into an FJ1, you're SOL, right? Unless you can just get the jump on him, which you can do if they're not paying attention to you. So again, you make those decisions while you're playing it. The radio equipment allows you to do that, and allows you to be super sneaky and attack from angles that they might not necessarily have expected. So that's why I've got this set up on the plane. I could completely change it. Again, you guys are going to hang out with me here on my very first battle in the F-82. P-82 is one of the planes. I've really enjoyed the P-82. I do have it geared a little bit more towards its air-to-ground capabilities, simply because it has such great air-to-ground capabilities. And even though I don't have the reload buffed, I've still got the speed buffed on the on this plane. The P-82, I definitely make sure I use the bombs and rockets, because you've got so many of them. It's really a complete shame to not utilize them, right? The F-82, by contrast, is going to be more of an air-to-air combat, simply because you've got the less rockets, you've got less guns, but you've got more maneuverability, and eventually I'll have more airspeed once I've got this plane specialized. It's already got more maneuverability than a P-82. It's going to have even more maneuverability and better airspeed once the plane's specialized. So right now, this is a weaker P-82, simply because my P-82 is specialized and maxed. But we're going to take our 6-point pilot that we don't really need, and we're going to put in our XF-90 pilot. And that XF-90 pilot, because he has aerodynamics expert, he's got cruise flight, he's got engine guru 1, that's going to all significantly help my airspeed. It's going to help my maneuverability, for that matter, as well. But on top of that, I've got a pilot that's got marksman 2. So I'm able to take that radio equipment and still be effective with my accuracy, because I've got a pilot. It's a premium plane. I can put any pilot in it that I want. I'm putting in a pilot that has marksman too. So I'm not worried about my accuracy. I'm really never worried about my accuracy when it comes to American machine guns. It's not about the accuracy. It's about how much crap can you throw at another plane. You'll eventually set him on fire, if not outright kill him, and move on with your life. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at first battle in an F-82. Let's see if I've set this thing up properly, and we'll go from there. Well, it certainly is a pretty plane. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with a specialized B-29C on the enemy team. And so we'll see, yeah, hopefully. He said good hunting, Postal. We're just going to have to see what we can do here. We've got bombs, we've got rockets. The reload time is exceptionally long on like all American heavy fighters. And we don't have all that much in regards to hit points, right? 538 is not a significant amount. But let's go ahead and let's get ourselves some airspeed. Now, normally in my P-82, I've been taking Mary Loveheart out, which can do some double ground damage. I don't have Mary here. I just wanted to see what this plane looks like. Doing its thing. Quite agile, you know, just being its own thing. I'm going to drop some bombs here. Hello, dropping the bombs. And 5 rockets here. Whoops, didn't need to do that. Oh well. And I'm going to move on, actually. So I'm under the impression that what I did is probably going to be helpful. Yes, cool. I helped capture it. Let's move along with our lives. Let's fire some frickin' machine guns here, shall we? Let's just see what I got myself into. Was this worth taking over the P-82? You've already got the P-82. Is there any reason to get the F-82? I can tell you right now this plane feels significantly more maneuverable, and I know on paper it's not all that much more maneuverable. Hello, Skippy Frames. But in practice, I feel like... Oh, hello. In practice, I feel like I've got a decent amount more maneuverability. I need to get the heck out of Dodge here. This Batwing is right behind me. Not anymore. Cool. We need to keep moving on here. We need to get everybody over there. Bombs and rockets are going to be back soon. Ooh. I don't want to go like, look, he's at full health. The dude's at full health. He's got like 2,500 hit points, right? Maybe even more. I don't even know. I just don't have... He does more damage per second than I do. So let's play this smart. Let's not be idiots. As much as I'd like to go kill a B-29C, as we all would. I would just die to a B-29C. Now, if you're in the what is it? The XP-58, that's a different ball of wax. That thing puts out some significant... Ow. Significant damage per second. You've got 37mm cannons on that plane. And B-29Cs are not all... I mean, they're a big deal still, don't get me wrong, but you can tear them up if you're in an XP-58. See the damage I'm doing to a Tier 7 heavy fighter? Yeah, B-29C will melt me, so I'm not going to waste my time trying to go kill him. But what we will do is try to get this frickin' mining facility. Our job at this point has to be... Well, there's a B-29C. What we can do with ourselves here is we can out-utility a B-29C. B-29Cs can get Gabreskis, meaning they can kill 10 frickin' aircraft and get significantly more than 7 ground damage on ground targets killed. But I've got the ability to do similar things. Man, he's got the freaking plant, huh? Well, we got this plant, sucker. Alright. We're ahead for right now, but, you know, again, we're going against the B-29C. So my goal here is just to be a huge pain in everybody's butt as much as possible. Key 94 Mark 1 has ridiculous cannons, especially for tier 7. We were just talking about XP-58. Well, this plane can put out the same kind of damage. I think it's 37 and 30s. Yeah, so luckily we were able to take care of him. Let's go ahead and kill this bomber here. I mean, he's here, right? I need to watch out for the other heavy fighter behind me. Cool. VB-10. I think he's got more guns than I've got as well. Now considering this only has 6 machine guns, this is basically a P-51H as far as firepower is concerned. But the difference is, okay, he's on low enough health. I might actually try to go for him. Not from this angle, though. What we want to do is we want to come up from underneath so that we can get as much, or take as little damage as possible with this guy. Until right there where he can actually hit us, and it doesn't matter. Excellent. Got a McGuire. Nice. I'm really liking this plane. When I bought the P-82B, I thought to myself I probably would have liked the F-82 better, just because the F-82 really is more air-to-air capable. The P-82 is more air-to-ground capable. Just freaking flak's gonna kill me here. Let me get out of here. Is there any planes around here? No. So we drop some bombs, drop some rockets. That's all. I'm out. I'm gonna brave Sir Robin it over here, which actually is probably gonna be more detrimental to my hit point pool. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, so the actual guns are just basically the same thing as what I'm about to hopefully shoot down. The biggest difference is, though, they're centrally located, right? Dang it. I knew the rockets were coming. Dang it. And having them centrally located seems to make a huge difference. Also, you've got a significant amount of speed, and not that the P-51H is slow by any means, but you've just got more boostability there, right? My game's getting a little skippy today. So not a bad first battle. Not a bad first battle at all. Let's see if we can try to get a second battle and see if it's consistent or not. Alright, so second battle, it's like the same freaking map. I mean, different map, but the same background. You know what I mean. Southwestern United States. It says Colorado. I've never been to Colorado, but I don't think this is Colorado. This is like Arizona. Anyway, we're up against that B-29C again, because of course we are. This time, unfortunately, we've got a P-51D going against us. And not that a P-51D is like a crazy strong plane, but it's got a lot of the strengths that I've got, and it can outmaneuver me, so I got to make sure that I'm using my speed against that dude, right? We've got a BF-109G on our team, so that's nice. Yeah, we're just going to see what we can do here. That's all we can do, right? Use our maneuverability to outmaneuver the heavy fighters. Use our bombs and rockets to do bombs and rockety kind of things. We need to watch out for the heavy fighters that are inbound. See what I did there? Starting firing my machine guns a little bit sooner than I normally would. What do we got here? We've got a bunch of dual airframe planes here. XP-58 has a rear gunner, so I need to kind of watch out a little bit here. But I can definitely outmaneuver him. This is where the cannons would have been more helpful than the machine guns, but whatever. Use the tools that you've got. Here we go. Get this Z now. Military base is going to be key to winning this, but it's not like we can just sit here and camp, right? A B-29C can flip this with his eyes closed. Hey, I was paying attention somewhere else. Don't try to outturn me. Looks like I can outmaneuver this guy. It's tier 7, so I'd like to think I can outduel him in general. I'm not going for that guy. He's on 2 full of health, right? But there's another bomber here. A non-specialized OP dude. I haven't even dropped my bombs and rockets yet, so this is kind of already a different battle, right? not even near. Oh, he's just, seriously, dude? Like, we get it. We get it. We get it. You're okay.
A large enemy force is attacking the military base. Proceed with caution.
Damn it. Damn it, Janet. Yeah, so the Jawas there have incredible guns, right? So obviously I just wasn't able to overcome that. I was actually firing my rockets, I don't know if you saw that. Trying to rocket that guy. So yeah, the B-29C is just gun shipping it, just hanging out in the center. I mean, I guess that's what you do sometimes. So what we're going to try to do here is try to capture it back.
The airfields are ours.
Alright, so we got that other airfield. That's definitely a good thing. I hate that I died. But it is what it is. And see, even still on that health, he's still above 2,000 HP. There's not a lot I can do. What we're going to do is we're going to use our flexibility to get this sector back, right? And we killed him right after squall lines. I mean, right after the sector unlocked, so that's perfect. That kill goes towards our capture points. Doing really well versus the planes that I want it to do really well at. You can't have the best of everything, right? Like, I'd love to be able to just kill a B-29C without thinking about it. But, you know, then you just have an overpowered plane. This plane feels pretty damn strong, though, I gotta admit. I'm really, was kind of hesitant about pulling the trigger on this one, but I'm quite enjoying it. I don't know why my freaking game's all skippity-skippy. Down to 30 FPS. It's less than cool, man. Somebody's dropping bombs. Somebody else will get him. Guess we're gonna go over here and kill some planes over here. So we don't need to defend here very much. I think we'll be fine. So let's go mix it up with some multi-role fighters and some fighters. Let's get ourselves into situations. I wouldn't normally try to do this, right? So what I mean by that is put yourself in a position to succeed, not in a position to have to maneuver and do stupid things. But when I first get a plane, I like to put myself in a stupid position, so that way once I get stuck in a stupid position somewhere down the line, accidentally, I will know at least some of the capabilities of the plane that I'm flying. So, would I normally go after this P-51D? Not specifically. And I'll be fine. But what I wanted to do is, like, get stuck in versus people like this. Now, obviously, it's going to be different when... Hello, guns. When you're trying to capture a sector, you know, when you've got air defense aircraft shooting you in the butt. That kind of stuff happening. I've gone through all my boosts. Let's see if we can't capture this sector over here. Got my rockets back. I still haven't even used my bombs and rockets, right? So let's use these bombs. I think I can probably just drop a bomb there and a bomb there and move on with my life.
Be advised, a line of thunderstorms is approaching.
Right?
You'll be unable to provide support. Do you copy? Over.
And yet,
Way to go. Victory is close.
let's see if I can't keep some airspeed here. Kind of not going the direction I want to go, to be honest, and I think there's going to be a heavy fighter behind me too soon. Yep, Tarhi-B. Mine. Go up so I don't get rammed by whoever that is. Will I be able to get this heavy fighter? So, I gotta say, I'm liking this plane. Not nearly as air-to-ground focused as I was with the, or I would be with the P-82B. But the air-to-air capabilities kind of have me salivating a little bit, considering I don't have this plane specialized. I don't have it fully spec'd out for exactly what I want it to be. And I do also think that this is prime examples of why the radio equipment is so helpful. A lot of those engagements I had, I don't know if if people don't pay a lot of attention anyway, so if they pay even less attention because they don't see you, that's a huge advantage. Let's take a look. All right, so for that first battle, 12 air kills, did some ground damage, did some air damage. Nothing crazy on either end, right? 4,000 air damage is nothing at tier 8 for a heavy fighter, in my opinion. 17,000 ground damage, again, isn't really overly a lot. But this is like, it's a super fast multi-role fighter is what you need to think of it as. Yes, it's a heavy fighter. Yes, it can do all those things a heavy fighter can do. But it's also got a decent amount of bombs and rockets. It's one of the reasons I like the P-1056, the British Tier 8 heavy fighter. You've got bombs and rockets for days on that plane. So you're able to kind of do what you need to do. Unfortunately, being Postal Monkey, in the way that I'd like to be Postal Monkey, I completely forgot to hit the crew experience. Let's take a look at the second battle. Alright, so second battle, I do have accelerated crew training on now. And you can see, did 1,500 more air damage and did significantly less ground damage there. Didn't kill nearly as many air targets, but didn't need to. The map, by getting the center location, we were able to dictate the pace of the battle pretty easily there. Didn't even get any ground targets there. But, like the P-82B, I could see this plane getting Gabreskis. What's a Gabreski? 10 aerial targets, 7 ground targets destroyed. Obviously, with this one, I'll have to focus more on doing ground damage. With the P-82B, you've got, like, so many rockets and everything that just... Excuse me. It just feels like it's a little bit easier to do ground damage. That plus, this plane has that maneuverability that it just feels more comfortable when I'm dogfighting or when I'm trying to stick with somebody long enough to kill them, that I tend to, in my brain, I'm focusing more on the air-to-air combat than I am the air-to-ground combat. So yeah, so honestly, I know could have been worse case scenarios than the two battles I just got in, but the fact that I just went up against a B-29C and a pretty darn good pilot, I know I've ran into him before and just been stomped. I honestly think it was the plane that I was in that was able to counter the B-29 better than previous games that I've been in against that particular pilot. And I gotta say, I like this plane right off the bat. 2 games in. I know I've got some tweaking. I didn't get my wings or tail knocked out at all, so I might eventually go with the consumables to the pneumatic control assist here. I'll play a few more games and figure it out. I like the rest of the setup though. I want to get this plane specialized and see what kind of maximum craziness we can get. I definitely want to help the outboard weapons with the consumables where you get that extra 10%. And then I'll also go ahead and put the uprated engine on here to allow me to get even more airspeed. I am a heavy fighter. I want more airspeed. Most heavy fighters live and die by airspeed. This has okay airspeed, but it's not going to be like over the top best airspeed. My P-82B still it's specialized obviously, but has better airspeed. I know I can get the F-82 to be better. And so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. These guns are that extra range that you get with the tier 8 through 10 guns compared to the tier 6 and 7 machine guns. That range means a lot. It might only be 200 feet. What is that, 66 meters or something like that? But that makes a difference. Being able to engage a target sooner makes a difference. Having all the machine guns centrally located, just like they are on the P-82, it's one of the things I like about the P-82. All your firepower is there, right? Now on the F-82, all your firepower is there, but at least it's centrally located. On a P-51H, you've got to get, you've got to be at the right distance for everything to kind of line up since your machine guns are on the wings. So having those centrally located machine guns is significant. So one of the things that frustrates me about the British fighter line is they've got them on the wings all the way up till tier 10, in fact. Even the tier 9 attacker, I'm like, why are they not centrally located? Why are they not on the? Why are they not cowling? Why are they on the freaking wings? Because that can be really frustrating when you're trying to shoot something. So that's really helpful. Now, $45. Is that worth it? I can't say for sure it's not or is. Typically, when people reach out to me and they say, Postal, what's a great, if you recommend a Tier 8 premium plane to buy, what do you recommend? My first recommendation is always going to be the Vampire. Yeah, that one. And why is that? Well, because you can get the Vampire for free. And I've got a decent chunk of Tier 8 premium, so I guess I really did not need the F-82. The Vampire you can get for free. Yeah, it's a grind. It is a grind, especially for a new pilot. I don't even remember the missions. It was so long ago that I got it. You can use tokens, the service tokens that you get to bypass certain missions, and I certainly did when I first got this plane. I couldn't get things like Goreski's or Golubev's that now I can earn. So, you want to utilize those tokens to bypass some of the missions. Only utilize them for the missions you absolutely can't do. Don't utilize tokens for ones that just take a long time. The thing with the Vampire is it's an absolutely excellent Tier 8 premium plane that you can't purchase for money, but you can get for free, and time. And time, people are sometimes willing to pay money to skip time. So my first recommendation is always hold on to your money, grind out the Vampire. Yeah, it's gonna take months to get it, but it's definitely worth it. And you got a free Tier 8 premium that earns all the same credits that I haven't even talked about, the credits that I just earned on the F-82. We'll talk about that in just a second. And so you can get that. My next response is, if you've got frickin' money burning a hole in your pocket and you're a new pilot to the game, typically I'm gonna actually point you in the direction of the XP-58. The XP-58 is an American heavy fighter as well that is pretty easy to use. You don't get bombs and rockets, so your sole focus is on air-to-air combat. You've got 37mm cannons that punch like a frickin' nuclear weapon, and just melt down enemy aircraft. You've got a rear gunner that's actually pretty darn good. Obviously, you don't have any maneuverability. You're not the speediest thing in the world. Your altitude performance is okay. There's some things that balance it out, but in general, you can do well in this plane as long as you understand the mechanics of how you fly a heavy fighter. Don't dogfight. Don't be that guy. Use your speed. Use your altitude. Literally boom and zoom. Most of the time, you'll boom and just kill, but sometimes you won't, so that's why you need to be prepared to continue to zoom. This plane is very noob friendly, and the other great thing about it is once you get good at the game, it's even better because you understand the mechanics of the other planes you're going against a little better. And so the XP-58 is absolutely excellent plane. The F-82E is really good, though. And this could just be me with my rose-colored glasses on, but I've only played 2 battles in it, and I want to play more. I want to call out sick today and just play this plane. It's been a lot of fun. I'm more tenured at the game, so I understand how to use bombs and rockets. I understand when is best to use bombs and rockets and when is need to focus on air targets, things of that nature. So for a new pilot to the game, F-82E, I'm still not going to recommend it. That being said, if you're intermediate or above, and you're looking to spend $45 on a premium plane, this might actually be a good buy. There's some flexibility of this plane that you don't have with some other heavy fighters. It's got pretty darn good maneuverability, right? Even base, it's got okay airspeed. I'd say even good-ish airspeed. I'm looking forward to maximizing the airspeed on this plane. Getting it up to being even speedier. And you've got that flexibility. We've all been in those battles where you get to a command center and you kill everything in the air, and your putz ground attackers and multi-role fighters are just like doot, 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 doot. And they're destroying targets but not taking sections of targets, so the sector's not actually flipping. And you're like, what else do I gotta do? Well, when you're in a plane like this, you go, oh, I drop a bomb. Or, a couple of rockets and take out this ground target. And you flip the sector. So being someone that knows that more often than not you have to rely on yourself more than your fellow humans and bots, a plane like this is pretty fun. So, yeah. I'm not going to outright recommend getting this plane, but I am going to say I don't mind that I just bought it. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for everybody. I am gonna play a couple more games in it before I gotta go to work. My work shift just changed. I'm working earlier now, which means I've actually got less flexibility during the day. I don't know if I'll have more flexibility at night, but I'll be working 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So maybe I'll be able to have some more flexibility on doing like some streaming after work. Specifically, I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure it out. My life is my life. Thank you for hanging out for parts of my life. I hope this video was helpful to any of those that haven't purchased this plane. I'd love to hear your feedback. Do you already have the F-82E? What would you say about the plane? Because I'm sure everybody and their brothers played it more than I have, since I've only played 2 games. What would you say are the strengths and the weaknesses of the F-82? I'd really love to hear your opinion. Whether it be here in the comments down below or in my Discord, we can continue the conversation there. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day and a good weekend. Bye.